Imagine stepping off a long flight, watching the baggage carousel spin around and around until it finally stops and your suitcase never appears. At first, you assume it's just a small delay. Maybe it'll come out with the next batch of bags. Maybe someone accidentally grabbed it. Hours later, you're standing in a hotel room wearing the same clothes you traveled in, wondering what you're supposed to do next. Here's the part that surprises most travelers. Losing your luggage doesn't always mean losing your money. In fact, airlines may owe you refunds, reimbursements, or even thousands of dollars in compensation. Yet millions of travelers never claim a single dollar simply because they don't know the rules. Today, you'll discover the little-known luggage rules, compensation loopholes, and claim deadlines that could mean the difference between walking away empty-handed or getting every dollar you're entitled to. If you want more travel tips like this, hit subscribe. 1. Delayed doesn't mean lost. One of the biggest misunderstandings travelers have is believing that a missing suitcase is automatically considered lost. Legally, that's usually not true. When your checked bag doesn't arrive with your flight, airlines almost always classify it as delayed, not lost. That distinction matters because different rights apply depending on the status of your luggage. For domestic flights in the United States, Department of Transportation rules say that if your checked bag is delayed beyond the required time window, generally more than 12 hours after arrival, you may be entitled to receive a refund of your checked baggage fee. For many international flights, that window ranges from approximately 15 to 30 hours, depending on the length of the journey. But here's the catch. The airline isn't going to automatically refund your baggage fee. You usually need to file a mishandled baggage report first. If you never report the delay, you may never receive the refund you're entitled to. This is one of those travel rules that surprisingly few people know about, and it means many travelers simply leave money behind without realizing it. 2. Understanding the difference between delayed and lost bags. Just because your luggage isn't waiting at baggage claim doesn't mean the airline considers it lost. Most airlines won't officially declare a suitcase lost until somewhere between 5 and 14 days after your flight. For many international trips covered by the Montreal Convention, baggage isn't legally considered lost until it has been missing for 21 days. Why does that matter? Because delayed baggage and lost baggage trigger completely different types of compensation. When your luggage is delayed, you're generally entitled to reimbursement for reasonable necessities you need while waiting for your belongings to arrive. Once the bag is officially declared lost, you can begin claiming compensation for the value of the suitcase itself along with its contents. Knowing which stage your claim is in helps you understand exactly what you should be requesting from the airline instead of simply waiting and hoping for an update. 3. Never leave without filing a Property Irregularity Report, PIR. This may be the single most important step in the entire process. If your suitcase never comes off the carousel, don't leave the airport planning to call customer service later. Go directly to the airline's baggage service desk and file a Property Irregularity Report, commonly known as a PIR. Think of this report as the foundation for every claim you'll make afterward. Without it, proving that your luggage was delayed or mishandled becomes much more difficult. After filing your PIR, make sure you understand the claim deadlines. For damaged luggage, claims generally need to be submitted within 7 days after receiving the bag. For delayed baggage on international flights, claims usually must be made within 21 days after your luggage is returned. While you're still at the airport, it's also smart to review your airline's contract of carriage, check whether your travel insurance includes baggage coverage, and see if the credit card you used to book your trip provides additional protection. Sometimes your credit card benefits can cover expenses that the airline won't. Enjoying the video so far? Give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. 4. Know the compensation limits. Many travelers assume airlines will simply replace everything that was inside a lost suitcase. Unfortunately, that's rarely how it works. Compensation isn't unlimited. For domestic U.S. flights, airline liability is generally capped at $4,700 per passenger. For international flights covered by the Montreal Convention, the current compensation limit is approximately $2,175 USD. Even then, airlines don't usually reimburse you based on today's replacement cost. Instead, they typically calculate the depreciated value of your belongings, meaning they consider age, wear, and condition before determining how much they'll pay. That expensive jacket you bought several years ago probably won't be reimbursed at today's retail price. That's why keeping receipts for valuable purchases can make an enormous difference during the claims process. Without documentation, you could find yourself negotiating over the value of nearly every item you packed. 5. Document everything before you travel. The easiest baggage claim is the one that's already supported with evidence. Before leaving home, take a few minutes to photograph your suitcase from multiple angles. Then open it and take pictures, or even a quick video, showing everything packed inside. If you're traveling with expensive electronics, jewelry, or other valuable items, photograph those separately, along with their purchase receipts whenever possible. These simple records can save you weeks of frustration if your luggage is damaged or disappears. If your baggage is delayed while you're away from home, remember that you're generally entitled to purchase reasonable replacement items. That could include clothing, toiletries, personal hygiene products, or other necessities you genuinely need until your suitcase arrives. The key word is reasonable. You don't need to suffer through several days wearing the same outfit, but you also shouldn't expect an airline to reimburse luxury shopping sprees. Keep every receipt. Without receipts, reimbursement becomes significantly harder. One important exception is when your luggage is delayed after arriving back at your home airport. Since you already have access to your belongings at home, airlines often won't reimburse purchases made during that portion of your journey. If you've ever successfully recovered money after a delayed bag or learned a lesson the hard way, drop it in the comments to help other travelers. 6. Why AirTags have become even more useful. Travelers have been putting AirTags inside their luggage for years. Today, they're even more valuable. Several major airlines now support Apple's Share Item Location feature. Instead of simply seeing where your suitcase is yourself, you can securely share that location directly with the airline. This allows baggage teams to use the information inside their own tracking systems, helping them locate and reroute your luggage much more efficiently than before. Of course, an AirTag isn't a replacement for filing your property irregularity report. You should always do both. Think of the tracker as another layer of protection that gives both you and the airline better information during the search. 7. International connections are the biggest risk. If your itinerary includes an international connection, your checked luggage faces much greater risk. Industry data shows that approximately 41% of mishandled bags are the result of transfer mistakes between connecting flights. That makes connecting airports one of the weakest links in the baggage system. If there's anything you absolutely can't afford to lose, medications, important documents, wedding attire, business clothing, or irreplaceable valuables, it should never be packed in your checked suitcase. Keep those items in your carry-on, or, even better, your personal item. Whenever possible, avoid booking extremely tight connections. You might be able to sprint across the terminal and catch your flight, but your luggage may not be so lucky. Giving baggage handlers extra time often gives your suitcase a much better chance of arriving with you. 8. When airlines may not pay. Although airlines are responsible for many baggage problems, there are situations where compensation may never come from the airline itself. For example, if an airline experiences financial collapse or bankruptcy while your baggage claim is still pending, recovering compensation could become extremely difficult. Another possibility is baggage theft. If investigators determine that your suitcase was stolen rather than mishandled by the airline may not be responsible for reimbursing your losses. Fortunately, this is where travel insurance and certain credit cards can become incredibly valuable. Many premium travel cards include baggage delay or lost baggage protection that can help fill the gaps when airline compensation falls short. That's exactly why reviewing your insurance benefits before traveling is just as important as knowing the airline's own policies. Losing your luggage is stressful, but knowing your rights can make a huge difference. Remember to file your Property Irregularity Report, PIR. Keep your receipts, document your belongings before you travel, and understand what compensation you may be entitled to. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you always do before a flight that makes traveling easier, or one thing you wish you'd known sooner? Drop it in the comments to help other travelers. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more travel tips, smarter packing advice, and money-saving travel strategies every week. And before you go, watch the next video on your screen, where I'll show you even more airport mistakes that can cost travelers time, money, and peace of mind. Thanks for watching. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.